The match began with Wheeler Yuta mocking the crowd, only to get smashed by Darby Allin's dropkick straight into the barricade. The tone was set early, fast, violent, and unforgiving. Yuta managed to turn the tables, sending Allin into the steel structure and crushing him with the cage door before calling for it to be locked shut. The punishment began as he chopped Allin across the ropes, but Darby responded with a brutal rope-assisted DDT. As Yuta tried reaching for Darby's skateboard, Allin drove the thumbtacks from the board right into Yuta's face. The crowd erupted, chanting, "You deserve it!" Moments later, Orange Cassidy entered the cage, breaking his sunglasses and using them as a weapon before pulling out a chain from his backpack. He and Darby went to work, but when Cassidy tried a pinfall, he was reminded, this match doesn't end by pin. Daniel Garcia entered next for the Death Riders, shifting momentum back their way. He and Yuta chained Cassidy and Allin into a double-team beating as chaos grew. The crowd expected Mark Briscoe next, but he was missing. Cameras showed Briscoe attacked backstage, with Roderick Strong volunteering to take his place. Strong charged into the cage and immediately took control, balancing the odds. Then came Claudio Castagnoli, swinging Allin across the ring, even with Cassidy on his back. The Death Riders dominated, but when Kyle O'Reilly entered, Paragon fought back hard. Fists, chairs, and chains turned the ring into a massacre. Then came Jon Moxley, armed with a fork and barbed wire bat, tearing into everyone in sight. The Death Riders looked unstoppable until Eddie Kingston's name was announced. But before he could enter, Renee Paquette revealed the shocking news. The Don Callis family attacked Briscoe, that left the Death Riders with a 5-on-4 advantage. But that didn't last long. Darby Allin scaled the cage and hit a death-defying coffin drop from the top, crushing the Death Riders below. The final countdown ended with Pac joining the chaos. Pac dominated instantly. Backbreakers, lariats, and ruthless offense until the impossible happened. Mark Briscoe returned, wielding a toolbox and bolt cutters to storm the cage. The crowd exploded as Briscoe used wrenches and chairs to even the odds, climbing to the roof for a wild fight with Yuta. The two traded brutal shots before Briscoe finally nailed a J driller on top of the cage. Back below, the action didn't slow down. Allin fought off Castagnoli with a hammer before Moxley stabbed him with a fork. Cassidy was trapped between cage and mat, and Strong was dropped with a suplex onto a chair. Then came the horror. Pac choked Darby above the entrance tunnel as Gabe Kidd appeared, lighting the tables below on fire. Pac threw Allin through the flaming tables in one of AEW's most jaw-dropping moments ever. Meanwhile, O'Reilly was being tortured with a chain and bulldog choke from Moxley, but he refused to surrender, flipping him off through the pain. Cassidy, Strong, and Briscoe regrouped, hitting counters and orange punches that shifted the match again. Finally, O'Reilly locked Moxley in a grapevine ankle lock in the center of the ring. Moxley struggled, bloodied and trapped, until he finally tapped out. The referee called for the bell. Winners: Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, Mark Briscoe, and Roderick Strong, the conglomeration and Paragon. The Greensboro crowd erupted as the victors stood battered but unbroken, their hands raised in triumph after surviving Blood and Guts.